Once again, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Olivier Morillon, Strategy and Collaborative Innovation Director of Ecoat, and I'm very pleased to welcome you to our first webinar about the horticulture coatings. Just a few comments before starting. So our two speakers will introduce Ecoat solution for 20 minutes, and we'll then have 10 minutes of Q&A session. So please feel free to ask any questions in the chat box, and we'll then come back to it afterward. Second, this webinar is recorded, so you will be able to review it in the coming days through a web link. So now let's move to the moment we are all waiting for. I'm very pleased to make way to Julia and Ibrahima. Julia is a metal R&D project leader, and Ibrahima Faye is the scientific director of Ecoat. And both speakers will introduce Ecoat solution and how we can make the metal coatings respectful of our future. So Ibrahima, Julia, I'll let you have the floor.
Thank you, Olivier. Thank you for this introduction and the presentation. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this pre-webinar brought to you by Ecoat in collaboration with Eventbrite. Today, we will discuss the subject of how to make metal coating respectful of our future. My name is Ibrahima Faye. I am the scientific director at Ecoat. I hold a PhD in chemistry and mainly worked on sustainable development projects. With me today, Ms. Julia Carlo, who will be presenting this webinar. Julia has an engineer degree and is specialized in metal protective coating at Ecoat.
Good evening to everyone.
Before giving the floor up to Julia, let me introduce Ecoat and the metal protective coating market. So Ecoat is a resin producer and a game changer in the coating industry. Our mission is to bring sustainable solutions to the coating industry by producing bio-based and low carbon footprint polymers, by manufacturing according to the lowest environmental impact and best cost efficiency, by offering a service for the ecological transition with an integration of the life cycle assessment. Today, let's focus on metal protective coatings. Metal coatings represent a large market of approximately $12 billion in 2021, with an expected growth rate of 3.5 per year between 2022 and 2027. This market is over 70% dominated by solvent-based solutions. As you know, solvents have a harmful impact to not only the user, but to the environment as well. We are all aware that we must switch to sustainable solutions and make coating more respectful of our future. This transition is a consumer demand, and regulators are pushing for a faster adoption. So now, a rapid segmentation by technology and corrosivity category of the waterborne metal market. We see immediately in the graph that the higher the performance, the higher the price. With conventional alkyd emulsion extract acrylic on the bottom of the graph, and 2K epoxy and 2K polyurethane on the top. For C3 and C4 categories, the solutions on the market are expensive and mainly occupied by solvent-borne. Ecoat UR 3309 is specially designed to competitively break the glass ceiling of C3 C4, generally attributed to water-based solution. So now I leave the floor to Julia, who will be presenting the rest of the webinar, more the technical aspects.
Thank you, Ibrahima, for your introduction. So now I will present you our Ecoat UR range. They are all alkyd polyurethane dispersion in water, and the polymer is constructed with an alkyd backbone, which we modified with urethane group. Then we disperse it in water, so there is no surfactant in the Ecoat UR range. A specificity of alkyd technology is its drying. We do not have only physical drying, but also chemical drying thanks to insaturation of drying oil. Those insaturation react with dioxygen from the ambient air or from the dryers to make covalent bond, here in red. This enables a good film formation and a high gloss, for example, thanks to low TG. And then with the reticulation, molecular rate is higher and provides good mechanical properties to the film. Now some more details about our Inocam UR references recommended for metal protection. First, all the binders are compatible in blend with most of waterborne binders, and all of the binder can reach a bio-based content of at least 50%. Some more detail about the references. So let's start with the 3301. It is a versatile product because you can not only use it in metal coating, but also in wood and in decorative coating. It provides very high gloss and has good flexibility. The second one, the 3304, provides good corrosion resistance and can also be used in wood coating. It is a bit harder than the 3301. And finally, the 3309 provides very good corrosion resistance and has a fast hardness development, which enable a big range of possibilities for metal protection. That is why we will focus for the rest of the presentation on 3309. So let's zoom on this one. To start, we expose 3309 in salt spray device with no formulation in comparison with other technologies as water delayable alkyds, alkyd polyurethane dispersion, polyurethane dispersion, or even some acrylics, for example. And we can see that after 238 hours of exposure, Inocam UR3309 showed very good performances, better than most of the other technologies. Indeed, we can see some corrosion development for most of the binders at only 124 hours. Also, we can say that the 3309 is equivalent to the cross-linking acrylic market reference for metal protection. It is equivalent in performance, but not in price for sure. Those results seems to be a good sign for paint performances, because we know that binder give the main properties to the paint. But we also know that formulation is very important in metal coating. So let's see if 3309 perform in formulation. We formulated the 3309 in a white paint. The formula is very simple because there is no anti-corrosion pigment and no liquid anti-corrosion additive. We exposed this paint in salt spray in front of commercial solvent burn alkyd and in front of binder from the coating market, which was formulated in the same way as Inocam UR 3309. And here again, the paint containing the 3309 stands out from the other technologies because Ecoat paint reached 318 hours, contrary to the other paints, which are blistered. This means that waterborne solution exists, and today a big majority of the metal protection is solvent-borne still, but the switch to waterborne is possible. Moreover, pigment-free solution exists. This is a very good advantage for DIY market, for example. It enables label-free paint, but also reduction of cost. You can also save process time because we know that anti-corrosive pigment can be hard to disperse. But to reach higher performances, it is mandatory to have anti-corrosion system in your formula. So now let's see what we can do with an anti-corrosion system in the formula. Here are two kinds of formula. one with anti-corrosive pigments and one with organic inhibitor. With a DTM containing anti-corrosive pigments, we can easily reach 400 hours of salt spray with good adhesion and good gloss. And here on the right side, you can see results of a formula containing liquid organic inhibitor. This kind of additive can boost the anti-corrosive performances and dispensing the dispersion of anti-corrosion pigments here again. We have worked a lot on DTM formula. We did a lot of screenings, for example, dispersing agents, pigments, or even fillers. We also did adjustment of organic inhibitor, etc. In short, we do not only work on our binder, but also on the formula itself in combination with our binder, of course. This is why we can offer formulation guidelines and help you to make the best formula with your constraints and your specification. These are for the direct to metal coating, but you can also use 3309 in multi-layer system. Indeed, it is possible to use 3309 in primer or in top coat. Primer is a good option thanks to corrosion protection, we just saw, and can be formulated to coat a variety of substrates. But 3309 has also a very good hardness development, as you can see in the graph here. It has also a short touch-free time, good UV resistant or a good scratch resistance, which enable an utilization in top coat. Here in the middle is an example of double layer. So you have here one layer of primer and one layer of top coat. Both are based on 3309, of course. And you can see here the results at 473 hours. And you can see that this kind of system can be a good candidate for C4 corrosivity category. Finally, you can use Ecoat UR as primer, top coat, DTM, or even base coat. But alkyd is not the first choice for metal protection, and the probability of working with other technology is high. It is sometimes difficult to change for a variety of reasons, and a blend of binder can be a solution sometimes. 3309 is compatible, and all the Ecoat UR are compatible with most of the waterborne binders, such as acrylics, styrene acrylics, PUD, etc. An addition of 3309 can change the properties of your paints. It can provide, for example, better hardness and higher gloss, or you can even decrease your coalescent agent rate, as you can see on the picture here. And the last but not least, you can decrease carbon footprint. As I said earlier, the Ecoat UR range can reach at least 50% of bio-based content. And in our case, this decreases carbon footprint of the product. In some cases, you can even divide by 2 or 3 the carbon footprint of the binder in the formulation. As a result, with the blend, you can reach a right balance between costs, performances, and sustainability. We talked about sustainability, and we know that a transition to a better chemical industry is really urgent, and we need to find a sustainable solution as fast as possible, and all of that without compromising on performances. Here is an example of application. We replace a 2K epoxy-based primer by a waterborne primer based on 3309. The base coat and the top coat remain the same solvent-borne C5 system. We expose that in salt spray, and the result is that we can reach same performances or even better in some case. And in the end, this system with the waterborne primer needs lower solvent rates and is safer for people. We are totally aware that this system has limits in terms of industrialization, but this is a proof that we can have alternative solution. And we know that industry needs to change, but step by step. We believe here at Ecoat in new possibilities, a new way of thinking our industry. We are open to collaborate, to respond to the coating industry issues, and we have even a dedicated department to support you through this sustainable transition. And I will let Ibrahima do the introduction of that service.
Okay, Julia, thank you for this insightful presentation. I hope that the example she presented have raised your interest and have convinced you that you can combine both performances and sustainability. But we can offer you more than that. Ecoat has jumped into the virtuous cycle of eco-design by internalizing life cycle assessment, as I said earlier. First, to be able to analyze our binder. We are ready to help you to lower your carbon footprint by lowering the carbon footprint of your raw materials without compromising on performances and other aspects of your environmental profile. That's the ambition of the Twitter offer, combining formulation guideline and LCA of your coatings. Do not hesitate to contact us if you want to know more about this offer. So our metal solution at a glance. Inochem, for metal protective coatings, we offer waterborne alkyd polyurethane dispersion, the Inochem UR range, 3301, 3304, 3309, and also others under development. This binder can be used both in metal coatings and in wood coatings. Inochem UR 3309 is specially designed to provide high-performance metal protection and do not need anti-corrosion pigment to perform, as Julia just highlight it. It can be used in one-layer coatings, also known as direct to metal, and in multi-layer system. Thanks to its versatility, it can be used as a primer, base coat, and also as a top coat. It can be it can be blended with other technology, and the recoatability is very good with solvent-borne paint. So thank you for your attendance. Join us for the sustainability revolution, and I will leave the floor to Olivier for the Q&A session.